So one of the things we like to tell clients and new people coming into grit is when they ask us questions about their diet and nutrition is that there's not going to be one single diet that's going to work best for everyone. Nutrition and diet is not a one size fits all type of deal. Some people are going to do much better on a high carb diet and other people are going to do much better on a higher fat diet. But inevitably, despite that and knowing that there's not one size fits all, not one approach that's going to solve all your problems, inevitably we will get questions of how do we eat? How do the coaches and the trainers eat at home? And it's only, that's perfectly normal. It's curious for you guys to know how we go about our business because obviously you guys are paying us and you trust us to get you to where you want to get to. So you just want to see a little peek into how we eat on a daily basis over the course of a week, months, whatever it may be. So that's exactly what I'm going to do for you guys today. I'm going to give you a peek into how I actually eat and what I'm prepping on a daily and weekly basis to kind of help me, maintain my health and my goals, and just to show you that we actually practice what we preach and we're not just kind of telling you guys what to do. So what I'm going to show you today is something that I do on a weekly basis for the most part, and it's just prep for the most part. I'm a big believer that when you fail to plan, you should basically plan to fail for the most part. And what prepping does in the beginning of the week is a couple of good things. Number one, saves you a bunch of time. So I know personally, I have grit, I have the business, I have to be there a lot. I have a wife, I have a child, and just like a lot of you, I've got a lot of stuff going on. So I don't have a ton of time to be prepping, all these 5-course meals for dinner every single time I go down to sit, or every time I sit down to have a meal. So what prepping allows me to do, and you can hear me actually preheating the oven as we speak, prepping allows me to get in my vegetables in a quick and easy way throughout the week. So once you've prepped them, you can store them in individual containers in one big container and just get them on your plate and you've got them for the rest of the week. So now you have good food prepped and you have no reason to not eat it. So you're setting yourself up for success in the long run. So what I do, there's nothing sexy about this. This might be kind of boring, but all I've got, green beans, broccoli, and Brussels sprouts. So what I do is I chop the bottoms off the Brussels sprouts, cut them in half, and then I'll put them on the parchment paper, line them up. I'll chop up the broccoli so that it's a little bit easier to eat and you're not just shoving a whole stalk in your mouth. And then the green beans, I'll just leave them as is. And then what you do is you'll spread them out over the parchment paper, mix them with a little bit of olive oil just to, one, add some healthy fats to your diet, and two, add some flavor because let's be honest, only sociopaths and serial killers like to eat vegetables raw. It's just not good, no one enjoys it, and I don't blame you for wanting to add a little bit of flavor to it because I know I do. And then speaking of flavor, honestly, salt and pepper are going to be the easiest ones that you can add. Once I started to cook more often for myself, I really started to appreciate how much salt and pepper just adds flavor to a meal big time. So don't go, poo-pooing salt and pepper just because it's so basic. It actually adds a lot of flavor to the vegetables that you can cook. Another one I like is everything bagel seasoning. You can get this at Trader Joe's or Costco or Amazon or anywhere you want to go. Probably one of my favorite seasonings of all time, but my son is allergic to sesame, so I don't really use it that much, that often anymore because, I love my son and I don't want to see anything bad happen to him. Another one you can do, crushed red pepper flakes if you like a little bit of spice. And I've also used garlic powder before in addition to the salt and pepper. So through the magic of editing videos, I will now show you the completed product. And voila! Instant preparation. If only life were that easy. No, but I think since the time where I stopped the video until I got to this point, maybe 8 minutes of chopping and just arranging them on the tins, and then what I've done is just put a little bit of olive oil on, each tin, and then I'd literally just get in there with my hands and I mix it up to kind of give them an all even coat of the olive oil. You don't want to put too much in there, maybe like 2 to 4 tablespoons on each one, which might seem like a lot, but remember, you're not eating this in one sitting. You're eating this probably over the course of the week. So even though that might seem like a lot of fat initially, when you spread it out over 5 or 6 meals, it's really not going to be that bad. And again, it is extra virgin olive oil, so it's not going to be the worst thing for you. So once I get to this point, I usually like to season them pretty liberally. I think when you don't put enough seasoning on your vegetables, again, they taste pretty bland, and no one likes to eat bland vegetables, not even myself, and I do this for a career. So I'm going to speed the video up because I season for like 2 minutes straight. So that was my black pepper. I think the freshly ground black pepper is the only way to go. I don't think I'll ever go back to the pre-packaged ground pepper like what I grew up with. It's just really not the same. There's a lot more flavor and kind of punch in the freshly ground stuff. Same thing with the salt. If you can buy your salt and get it kind of like the in the grinder, I don't know what this thing's called. I really think it makes a difference. So again, more seasoning. And then this week I'm going to throw in some garlic powder as well. I think it gives it a nice little bit of flavor, especially when you've been eating this stuff for, a couple weeks now and you want to change up the flavor, because it can get a little old and monotonous if you just do the same thing all the time. Don't overdo it with this stuff, because everyone you talk to will hate you, guaranteed. And then from here, all you got to do is preheat your oven to 400 or 425, and then I usually put it in for about 45 minutes. If you put it in at a higher temperature, you're going to get a little bit more crispy, maybe even burnt vegetables, which honestly, not terrible. 400 for like 40 minutes, they might come out a little softer. It really just depends on how you like them. So in the oven, they go. So now obviously you can see in front of me the final product. They got a nice little brown crisp to them, which is actually really nice. When you bite into it, you get a little bit of the salt and the garlic and the pepper, and it makes eating vegetables much more palatable in the long run. And you guys saw how much work I put into doing this. Clearly it was no Iron Chef episode. It's very easy to do this and then set yourself up for success in the long run. These vegetables will last me the entire week almost, and I'll usually have a little bit with every single meal that I eat. And you can switch them up. You can do asparagus, you can do bell peppers, you can do whatever the hell you want. Just chop them up, roast them, a little bit of olive oil and whatever seasonings you want, and then store them for the rest of the week, and there you have it. I'll pair this with whatever protein I eat at whatever meal I eat, and keeps me healthy, keeps me full. And there you have it, a little peek into what I do during the week. So, keep your eyes out for more stuff like this, because clearly I just don't eat vegetables 24 hours every single day of the week. But there you have it, a little peek into how your trainers eat.